Hi friends, it's Nancy and we're back to do the next project in the Country Spring Diary, Edith Holden thing. So this time we're going to do a project as inspired by Wendy at Wendy's Journaling Adventures. So it's not exactly the same because I didn't have the same glassine bags as she does, and we're using different papers. There's some fussy cutting going to happen, some sewing. Anyway, these glassine bags are just about, I want to say just about 4 inches, but the seed's sticking to me. So these are about nearly 4 inches and just over 6 1/4. Okay. So I've got page 54. And we're going to make a little flippy notebook glassine bag thing. Just going to turn it around so I can cut it. Now, I want to cut off this edge, but I want it to be the same width as my bag. So I'm just going to put a couple of marks to line up my ruler on, because it's not exactly 4 7/8 or 3 7/8, or it's kind of a strange measurement. Okay. All right, we're just going to put this to the side. Okay. Now, I want to let's say 7 1/8 from the top. Maybe 7 1/4. Let's say 7 1/4 from the top. Okay. Now I'm going to cut here, but I'm not going to cut through the leaves. I want to leave the leaves as sort of a little tab, right? So I'm just going to cut sort of to the leaves and through the roots, and then get out the scissors to finish the job. We are going to do some sewing, but if you're not a sewist, no problem. It's not necessary. If you were more of a botanical kind of person, you could leave those roots if you want to. Okay. Sorry. Just gonna grab a tissue so I don't snip through the whole thing. Ah, beg your pardon. Okay, let's do a little inking. That side is already dark. But we'll try and match up this side. Okay. It's still Sunday morning. I texted my son this morning. I said, "How do you feel about turkey today?" And he said, "I have plans today. Can we do it tomorrow?" So apparently he's recording an album today. Okay. Now, with your glassine bag, I want to cut a little thumb hole. If you try to use your punch on the edge of that, it's not going to work. So if you take a little piece of paper, fold it in half, and slide it over the top, kind of find the center. Now, you see these little arrows here? That tells you where the center of the punch is, and there's a little arrow on the front that tells you where the center of the punch is. So, I'm just going to move that up till the arrows are centered. What's going on here? This was supposed to be easy. This was supposed to be easy. I should have possibly torn a better piece of paper. Let's try that again with feeling. Okay. Using a longer piece of paper. I'm going to fold this in half so I can find the center. Okay. Using a longer piece of paper, we're just going to wrap that around the edge. And then lining up the arrows on the sides. There you go. Okay. If you want to tea dye this, that's fine. I don't. If you want to skip this part, you certainly can. You're going to take a little ink to where the flaps and overlaps are. Sort of grunge those up a bit. That's not going to show, but it kind of gives some depth. All right. Now we have to make a decision. How far down do we want this to go? So I'm just putting that on a line so I'll know where to mark it. Well, it's not going to show very much flour. Let's bring it down a smidger. Oh yeah, we're going up to this line, right? Yeah. Just gonna put that line there. Okay. Now you can fold it. I'm gonna use my little scoreboard. It's more or less like 2 inches. All right. Now, so I want to make sure that this is straight. Just kind of put a line there so I know where to stop gluing. Okay, so this is the long side that's facing up. And you see it's about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch away from the fold. Oops. And this little lip needs some glue here. Okay. Now, we need to decorate. The first thing I'd like to do is add a little strip of fabric here, just to sort of, you know, that bare edge is a little annoying. Now you can use ribbon, you can use lace. What I have here is some fabric that I've tea-dyed, and I've got this cut to use for tabs on tags, but I'm going to use this on the side of this. Just want to put a few more threads to make it a little more raggedy. So just using the blade of my scissors really roughs that up. Like curling ribbon, right? Look at that. That looks good. All right. Now, I'm not going to glue it. You can if you want to. You can hand stitch it down. I'm going to use my machine. I'm going to zigzag it. To make sure I got a rough edge. Well, it looks pretty rough down here already, doesn't it? But if you wanted to make sure you had a rough edge, put your fabric on your blade and pull. And there you go. You got a nice crappy end. All right. Bring our machine in, and I like to use Where's my pokey tool? There's my pokey tool. Now I have a zigzag. It's about 1.5 wide and no, 1.5 long and I think 3 wide. I think that's sort of Gail Gostinelli measurements. She likes that size too. So I'm just going to put this fabric here along the side, kind of find the center of this strip. And it's about the same width as my foot actually, so just kind of have to put it between the feet. I'm just gonna reverse. Now, you're not going to be able to see this. You're just going to have to trust me that I'm sticking my bead reamer or my pokey tool under and pulling the ruffle, making a ruffle. Okay. If you like hanging threads, you can hang them. If you don't, cut them off. Okay. So this is overhanging a bit, so I'm just gonna, same trick. There we go. Now, I want to add a little button at the end there. And I think I want a yellow button. Ooh, that's kind of a nice mustard color. All right, that's what we'll do. Stop looking. I'm going to hand stitch it down, but I'm going to glue it first just to sort of I think I like that side better. Just to sort of stabilize it. I've got a needle and thread all ready, so you don't have to watch that nightmare. Just want to keep some length there so that I can tie it on top. If you want to use something heavier like embroidery floss or something, go for it. Okay, so it loosens. double knot this. So loose ends over the needle side, and then needle side over the loose ends. That way it won't untie if you switch your ends. There, I left them a little long. All right, next I will put you there. Okay, next I want to make a little notebook to go in the top cover. So let's measure. I believe we're going to want 3.5 inches wide by 4 3/4. 3.5 by 4 3/4. Let me write that down. 3.5 by 4 3/4. Your measurements might be different depending on where you folded. I've got some offcuts here. This is just tea-dyed paper. 3.5. I don't think that would be good enough. No. Just doing all the 3.5s first. And just like Wendy, I'm going to do 5 pages. Now you can either sew the edge together first of the pages, or I'm going to do something slightly different. Again, if you're not sewing, you can staple, you can glue, whatever you need to do to get these things to stay. Okay, I'm gonna grab a paper clip. Now, these are going to be centered like that. Okay. So I'm going to sew from this side through these papers. Maybe I should make a little pencil line. Just a little pencil line so it's sort of the same distance. The reason I want to do it this is because I want more stitching on the front. I'm off camera, aren't I? Let's bring it in. No problem. That's fine. Fine, fine, fine. Okay. Carefully take these off. I don't want them to get caught up in the fabric. And just get my little white eraser. Here. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Now, I want to add the name of this plant, which is cow's lip. It's similar to a primrose, which I've never had any success in growing. However, oh my goodness, it's hot down here. Not really, it's just me. So I'm tearing around the name of the plant. We are going to make something really cool to go inside, but first things first, right? All right, ink. Now, if you want to layer this up on something, a little fabric, a little cheesecloth, you want to put a button at one end, that's okay. I've got some options here. Got this little scrap of fabric. Yeah, why not? I'm going to use white glue instead. Just so I don't have any issues with shiny Fabri-Tac showing through, but I will use Fabri-Tac to glue down the name of the plant. And I mean, we could go like that way, put it up higher, could put it at the top, but I'm going down at the bottom. What do you think of that? All right, so that is our little notebook flip glassine bag a la Wendy's. I don't know what you want to call it. So this would go on your page like this, and then you flip it up, tuck something inside, do some little notes here, flip it down again. I hope you thought this project was sort of interesting. And we'll be back soon with the next project. Okay, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.